Hi, and welcome to another episode of Starship Gaming. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we make more awesome videos. Now, let's jump right into today's topic. Now, I know in the past I have said that I don't really like to discuss the Atari VCS that much, and honestly, this would probably, the reason I really don't like to talk about it is I just hear so many negative things from people about the Atari VCS, which I personally don't have anything negative against it, but I hear quite a few negative things, like people saying, oh, it'll fail, oh, it's not a real game console. Honestly, those are people's opinions, and I could care less either way, but, it's nevertheless going to be a game console that is going to be released. I mean, when you really think about it, people say the same thing. You have your people who hate Xbox, or your people who hate PlayStation, or your people who hate Nintendo. It's just opinion, there's people out there that hate it, and there's people out there that love it, and they're just waiting for this thing. But, a lot of people think it's a scam. Obviously, at this point, if it was a scam, they've gone to the point of no return. So if they were going to pass this off as more or less a scam, they can't really back out of it at this point, which, they're... let me give you a good example. The Coleco Chameleon. That one got out of hand pretty fast. Which, I'm going to do a video on the whole Coleco Chameleon deal. So, that'll be coming soon. Of course, we already know it's not going to meet its target date of, it's past the target date of when it was going to be released. Of course, a lot of that has to do with, production, COVID-19, of course, that's the big one. Let's face it, we knew it wasn't going to, meet the end of March deadline. There was a lot of news out there saying, oh, it's going to come in March, and like I said in that past video, if you had watched it, my last Atari VCS video, it's just one of those things that they can confirm it, but that's all we can go on. We can't really go on anything else other than what they tell us. But, it's going to get released. It's going to come out in 2020. It may get held over because of the whole COVID-19 situation, but I have a feeling, we'll see it probably by fall at the latest. It may be even 2021 sometime before we see it. Of course, the tides have really turned for Atari, so to speak, with the whole COVID-19 situation. The big thing is people are staying indoors. Nobody is buying physical games unless you have it delivered to your house, or you're brave enough to wander into a Walmart or a Target right now. A lot of people are downloading games, and I think that because of that, a lot of people will be moving towards downloadable games, which could work in the favor of the Atari VCS potentially. And I use that term potentially very loosely because, it's for the fact that it has to have good games that people actually want to play. If there's not any good games, nobody's going to really download them, and they got to be priced decently. So it's got that going for it, the whole, people staying indoors and whatnot. Of course, eventually this whole situation is going to be over, but it may not change buying habits. You see, you have introduced the element of staying at home and buying everything off of the internet, pretty much. You've introduced this element. Yeah, it's always been around for, the past 15, 20 years, well, for games, 15 years. But you've introduced this new element, and people are, finding out, hey, it's easier just to download it and not have to leave my house. Just download it, wait a few minutes to a few hours, and, bada bing, bada boom, I'm ready to play, I don't have to leave my house. I don't have to own a physical copy. I have it right here. So that may, but, we don't know how this whole COVID-19 situation is going to pan out in the long term. But it's definitely going to change people's buying habits, and with the change of buying habits, it's going to change how people, most definitely buy their video games. Of course, downloadable games have been on the rise over the past 10 years. So it's very possible that something like this, a console that's, you can only download the games on, could have its footprint in the market. But we don't know yet. It may do good, it may fail terribly. We just don't know yet. And of course, a little bit more of Atari VCS news. Atari has a lawsuit on their hands, apparently. Rob Wyatt, who was known for working on the original Xbox, he was working for Atari, and apparently he didn't get paid $260,000 for his work. So he has recently sued Atari over his work on the VCS. It's a pretty rough situation, and, at this point, Atari, or we should say the phoenix that Atari has became, because it's not anywhere close to the original company. I don't know how many times Atari has been reborn in some form, one form or another. But, they've gotten themselves in a bit of a sticky situation, it seems like. Of course, recently, as of March 20th, 2020, Atari says that they currently have enough parts to manufacture up to 500 Atari VCS consoles. So, and of course, this whole COVID-19 has had to shut factories down in China and whatnot. It's a really bad situation. And of course, it's not only going to affect Atari, it's going to affect Xbox, PlayStation, in television. Of course, Sony and Xbox have both, said it's not really going to affect the releases of their latest consoles. Of course, I made a video about that a few weeks ago. There was talks that it could have delayed them, but it looks like that might not be the case. But we still have to wait for this whole COVID-19 situation to pan out. We don't know anything yet. As of right now, the future is unwritten. Okay, so that's really all I have to say about the Atari VCS right now, or I should say all the information that's currently available about the Atari VCS. The Atari VCS is not really a subject I really like to talk about. Of course, I have considered picking one up when they release, when it releases, and it just, like I said, the reason I don't really like to talk about it is because there's so much negativity from the gaming community. And this might be one of the last videos for the Atari VCS in a while, unless we get some really good, something worth talking about, I should say. So, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out. It helps the channel grow. It helps keep me motivated to keep making videos. Without, your support, I would just suddenly just quit making videos. I would just give up, everything. I don't want to. I do these for fun, more or less, so, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell if you want notifications of when we release more awesome videos. And until next time, I will see ya.